Digiscoping is the art of taking a picture through a spotting scope. If you place a small digital camera right behind the eyepiece where the eye would go, you can take frame-filling pictures of the birds and animals that you observe. The Zeiss digital camera adapter is a platform adapter that holds many small compact digital cameras and some smaller DSLRs behind the eyepiece of the scope. It allows quick, easy access to the eyepiece for focusing or observing, and then with just a flick you can swing the camera back in to capture images of things like chipmunks or this amazing yellow warbler. With today's digital cameras you can even capture high-quality HD video for a really stunning look at the world around you. I'm going to show you how to set up your Zeiss digital camera adapter so that you too can begin to capture images like this through your spotting scope. In what follows, I'm going to refer to the digital camera adapter as the DCA. When you first take your DCA out of the box, it's going to look like this. To get started, take a hold of the front part of the mount, forward arm, and swing it around to the front. See this button here? This is a locking button. If I lift it and drop it back into place, then it locks the arm so that it can't turn around by accident. We're going to adjust this for an angled spotting scope. Loosen the screw, tip it up, and then tighten the screw back down. If we're using a straight scope, we would leave it in the down position. Next, you're going to remove the quick release plate from your tripod and attach it to the DCA. Make sure that this little collar is screwed in tight. Screw it in with your finger, and then attach the plate by screwing it into that collar. Get it in good and tight. Make sure it's straight, lined up with the forward arm, and then tighten it down and just replace the quick release plate into the head of the tripod. Next, you're going to mount the scope on the DCA. Look at the forward arm here. This is a secondary tripod socket. I put a little piece of the soft fuzzy side of Velcro on the back to keep the scope from twisting side to side once it's mounted. Here it is from the top. Here's your secondary tripod mount, and here's my little piece of Velcro. To mount the scope, first we'll loosen this knob here and slide the platform back out of the way. Note also that the platform goes up and down like this, and you have a third screw, this one right here. That's a stop. That allows you to set it once you have everything set up so that you can move the platform back out of the way to swing it around and then not have to readjust it. Then just pick up your scope, set it over the secondary tripod screw, reach around underneath, get a hold of the lever, and then just screw it in. It doesn't have to be real tight right now because we're still going to make some adjustments. The platform needs to be perfectly square with the eyepiece. In order to make sure that it is, adjust the platform so that it's as tall as the eyepiece, and then drop it down against the end of the eyepiece by loosening the screw underneath. It needs to be nice and square. Go back to the front of the scope, loosen the tripod screw, and adjust it till it is perfectly square with the platform. Tighten it up. From the top it looks like this. You want the platform perfectly square with the eyepiece. We're getting ready to mount the camera now. Remember, you have adjustments in all dimensions. This screw allows the platform to move in and out, this one up and down. And then the tripod screw itself for the camera allows you to move it left and right. This is the stop. Remember, that is set so that once you have everything set up, you can quickly replace it. Loosen this screw, slide the platform back out of the way, and drop it down. And we're about ready to mount the camera. Locate the tripod socket on your camera. Put the camera over the platform and attach it with the tripod screw on the platform. Don't tighten it up. We're still going to do a lot of adjustment here. Make sure it's fairly straight and then turn it on. Loosen the tripod screw and slide the camera side to side until the circle of light that you see on the LCD is perfectly centered. Move it up and down to center it vertically as well. You have to readjust it once you've centered it vertically to make sure that it's still centered horizontally. And then make sure it's straight. The camera is straight on the bracket. Now loosen the screw again and drop the camera in until you get a nice sharp round circle. Tighten it up. If it's in the right position, you should be able to zoom the zoom on the camera to get rid of the dark corners on the LCD. So it's no longer round, it fills the frame. You should now be able to zoom the zoom on the camera its full range without seeing any more dark corners. If you can, then that's a good distance for your camera and this eyepiece. Again, it's critical that the camera be square with the platform. If it isn't, you won't get sharp pictures no matter what you do. So adjust it carefully before you make these other adjustments. Make sure that it's square with the platform. It's easier to stand this if we view it from the back, as you would see it on the LCD. Slide the camera up until the circle of light is centered vertically. Slide the camera from side to side until it's centered horizontally. Keep adjusting it, vertical a little bit more here. And then loosen the screw on the bottom and slide the camera in until you get a nice circle with sharp edges. If you have it the right distance, you should be able to zoom the zoom on the camera and eliminate those dark corners. And from there on, you should be able to zoom all the way to the top of the zoom on the camera without the eyepiece and the zoom on the camera making contact, and without getting any more dark shadows in the corners. Once more, only this time filmed through the eyepiece. You want to center the circle both vertically and horizontally. Drop the camera in until you get a nice sharp round circle, and then see if you can zoom it up to get rid of the corners. You should be able now to zoom it all the way up without seeing any more dark corners and without bumping the eyepiece with the zoom of the camera. If you have it right, it'll look like this. Notice it isn't right up against the eyepiece. There's a little space there. That's okay. That's the way it should be. Now you can set your stop so that when you adjust it to swing it out of the way, you can put it right down against the stop again without having to make any further adjustments. And that's all there is to it. Your digiscoping bracket, your DCA is set up, and you're ready to take stunning frame-filling pictures of the birds and the animals that you encounter in the field.